How are you, Mbak Muara?
I'm really good. Wow. I just listened to your story. I'm amazed. You're
I'm also amazed because
amazing.
I'm a big fan of you, Mbak Muara. I was actually in one of your coaching sessions in one of the committees for women, and then you taught us
Oh,
about journaling. And then starting from that point, I have been consistently journaling for the past few years. So I hope that you could really share a lot of interesting things for these people here.
thank you.
I hope that you're excited, Mbak Muara, and ready to share for our fellows here in Bangkit. And I'm sure that everyone here couldn't wait any longer to learn from you. So therefore, please, Mbak Muara, the time and place is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Wow. I don't know. I get chills like listening to your story and then looking at the comments. I'm like, wow. You guys are amazing. Like, I can feel the optimism. I can feel the positive energy. I can feel the ambition. So I really hope this session that I will be talking about will boost your motivation to thrive in life and in a career. Okay, so I'm gonna start present. Sebentar. Entire screen. Sorry. Cool. Okay. So, um, what I'm gonna present today is basically the journey that I went through and the experience that I went through, and I start teaching my clients about this. It's basically about finding your passion, knowing your values, so you can actually live your passion, live your purpose, and you can actually understand what is actually your life values, your career values. Because I do believe that if you understand yourself, if you really know yourself, know your values, know what you want in life, in a career, you will feel content even if it seems like your life is like very roller coaster, but you will feel content because you know you live according to your values, you know you live passionately, and you live your purpose. Okay, so that's why the title here I put is understanding you, understanding each of you, understanding ourselves. So in your age back then, well, now I'm like what, 30, almost 38. So maybe about like 15 years ago. Wow, I'm so old. Like 15 years ago, I think everyone, including me back then in my 20s, I was wondering what major should I take in university? I don't know what I like. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want to do after I graduate from uni. um, will I like my job or will I just care about the money? Like all these questions, I did not have the answer back then. And the only person that I can talk to was my dad, because he's very education mindset, education oriented. So, and my dad is a different person from me. So his suggestion back then didn't feel aligned with me, didn't feel aligned with what I want, but I had no choice, right? I had no choice. I was just like gambling the decision, and I decided to major in public relations. Not because I like it, not because I know I like it and I want to be building a career in that industry, but it's just because I had no idea what else to do. Okay? So, the common questions is who am I? What's my passion? What are my values? And most of us don't understand, right? I'm sure maybe 90% of you who joined still have this question in your head. Maybe you guys know your passion, that's why you're here, but do you really know like your values? Like what is your foundation in living life? What is your foundation in choosing a career, the next step? Okay. So it's all about having self awareness. To be able to answer these questions is about having your awareness and listening to your own voice. I capitalize the word own voice is because, like I said, at this age, you cannot separate, sometimes you cannot separate your voice from your parents or your family or society. So sometimes you don't know, is this decision because I'm influenced by my environment, or is this decision because I exactly know what I want? The good news is there's a way to know that. There's a way to practical tools to know that. Okay. But before we go into that, I want you to write this down. It can be on your phone, it can be on a piece of paper, but I want you to have some self-reflection first. This is a practice to build self-awareness. If you don't have self-awareness, you cannot self-reflect on yourself, then you will not be able to figure out what you want. So what I want you to do is just guess and go inwards and ask yourself, how confident are you with your own voice? How confident am I with my own voice? Imagine there's a scale from 1 to 10. 10 is super confident. You know exactly what you want. You know exactly when you make a decision, that is your voice. And 1 is the lowest, when you're just like driven by your environment. Okay. So I want you to really, I mean, a lot of people will say, what's the measurement? What's the standard to answer that? What is 1? What is 2? What is 3? Like, no, there's no formula. You just have to learn to listen to your heart and ask from 1 to 10, how confident am I? Okay. And I want you to answer why. Why do you feel so? There's got to be a reason, right? Like you feel like 1, you feel like 5, you feel like 9. Why? Why do you think you feel that number? And the last question is, what can be improved to feel like a 10? Because we all want to feel like 10, right? It's not like we want perfections. There's no such a thing. But we have to know how to feel like a 10. We have to know how to get there. And being a 10 doesn't mean you're perfect. Being a 10, it just means that you've grown so much and reaching your potential. Doesn't mean it's perfection. It just means growth. So ask yourself, what can be improved so I can feel like a 10, so I can actually grow into my potential capacity? I'll just gonna give you a few seconds here. And actually, you guys, please share your answers if you feel comfortable. Share your answers in the comments. So later, I can read it, or everyone can read it, and we can have a interactive, engaging session. Okay, just write it down on the chat. If I have to ask myself back then in my 20s, I thought I was confident, but in reality, I wasn't, because I went to uni in the US and my English back then wasn't good. I learned good English from my roommate who was Native American. And she corrected my grammar every time I speak. So, and I was like a small Asian woman among the tall, big white people with broken English. So I'm sure I wasn't confident back then. Maybe my confidence level was 5, and it's because I couldn't really speak English. And I'm a very extrovert person, but when in the US, I was shy. I did not know how to make friends because I couldn't speak English properly. So, what can I improve back then to feel like a 10? I would say practice speaking English and just ignore the negative self talk about my grammar. Because now I notice even a lot of Americans, English people, their grammar is also messed up. But they are confident because it is their first language. But if you really learn about grammar, their grammar is messed up as well. So if I can improve something back then, it's just like shutting down my negative self-talk in my head and just pushing myself to keep talking. Okay, so I want you, please share in the comments so I can read it later. So now, how to be more confident, how to be trusting your own voice and just be confident, trust in you. like previously mentioned, it's about building a habit. Journaling, it was mentioned earlier, right? But it's all about building a habit. Because when we were just born, if you think about it, when we were a baby, when we were a toddler, when we were just like 3 years old, 2 years old, we were very confident. All kids are confident. Even shy kids are actually more confident than most adults. Why? Because confidence is our nature. We change it into someone who's not very confident when we are become adult is because a lot of things happen in our life when we grow up that change our mindset, that change the way we behave, the way we think. Okay, but confidence is actually within us. We just have to dig deeper within us and rediscover again, so we can practice it through what? Daily habit. Okay, I always do this to all my clients, every single client. Doesn't matter what their problem is. I will start from what is your habit every day? Because habit defines your success. Okay. So I want you to do this after this session. Okay. Remember, this is really important. If you really want to train your mind to be positive, to be excited all the time, to be just like getting motivated throughout the day, fix your habit. So, this is the simplest one. Usually I give much more than this, but this is the simplest one. So every morning, what I want you to do is do not check your phone, because if you check your phone, it means then you wake up and then you start thinking about something that's not even useful for your brain. You know, you start scrolling, you start chatting online, you start just like mindless scrolling. Like your mind is not trained to be thinking positively. So I want you to take a moment when you wake up to just be yourself. Okay, just get in touch with yourself, grab a journal, and what you need to say is, what you need to write down is 3 things you love about yourself. So basically, you have to give yourself 3 compliments. Is it because you're a kind person? Is it because you're smart? Is it because you're a good people person? You're a great student? You're motivated? You're open minded? You're willing to learn new things all the time? Give yourself compliments. Okay, 3 things. And every day has to be different. If you're finding it hard to do that, I want you to sit until you come up with some stuff to write down. Okay. The second one is intention. What is your intention today? What do you want to do today? Like, what is your intention? Okay, my intention today is, like, for example, this morning, my intention today is to be authentic self while inspiring Bangkit students. If I write that statement down, I will get up from my bed feeling excited. Okay. Let's say if tomorrow I don't have any workshop, I don't have any speaking events, I'm just doing my whole daily stuff, that can be boring. What is my intention tomorrow? I can write something. My intention today is to be present with my daughter and to be spending time thinking about my business expansion. Okay, so it's intention. Your intention for the day is really important. The last one of the for the morning journal is write down 3 things that involve your bite-sized goals. What is bite-sized goals? When we talk about confidence, one of the simplest hack to be more confident is to create small goals every day and fulfill that goal. Because when you actually keep your promise, you will do this. Like, for example, today I promised myself that I will go working out with my trainer. I will do 7K steps minimum today. If I keep those promise and I can see the result that I feel good after doing it, it will boost my confidence. I will have trust in me that, oh, I can keep my promise. Oh, I actually can do it. So it's the simplest hack you can do. So every day, write down 3 bite-sized goals. Only 3. Let's say today you wanna finish some projects. You wanna do some deadlines, or you just as simple as you wanna work out, or you wanna start eating healthy. Write it down, but make sure it's something small and something simple, so you don't feel pressured, but you feel motivated to actually achieve it and actually go out there and do it. Okay. And then the nighttime, what you can write down is, again, do some self reflection to get a better understanding about yourself. You write down the progress of the goal. What went well today? Okay, so the progress of the goal is check, review your 3 goals in the morning you wrote down. And then at night, you review, did I do this? Did I do only 50% of it? And ask yourself, what makes me not complete the goal? It will create a better understanding about your personality, your behavior, what you like, what you don't like. Let's say you don't complete your goal because you don't like working out. So you kind of understand, I don't like working out. Okay, it means maybe I need to grab my friend and work out together with me. So I'm not going to be lazy, you know? So, but you have to write down what's the progress of your morning goal. Okay. And then after that, you write down what went well today. What went well today will help you to appreciate your life and feel content with your life. Like last night, as simple as I wrote down my routine at night now when my daughter already sleeping and then all the lights is off in the living room. I live in an apartment, 11th floor. So when the light in the apartment is off, I can see the city lights in my balcony. And it's just amazing. It looks beautiful. So last night I was just like standing in my kitchen and I just like stare at those city lights in my balcony. And that's what went well that day. That's what makes me happy that day. So I learned to appreciate little things in my life. Okay. See, all this habit is really training your mindset. It's really just training your mindset to be positive, happy, content, and confident. Okay. So what else? What else can you do to be more confident? So what I just told you was a little bit more like mind hack and a little bit of inner work. But then what's the practical tool? There's a practical tool to do that. This is the keyword here. Lean on the fear. Sometimes we feel like, oh, I cannot. I think earlier I read some comments. Someone wrote down, saya nggak bisa bahasa Inggris. It means you have to lean on the fear. You fear speaking English. This is my assumption, okay? Doesn't mean it's true. Maybe you fear speaking English because you think you cannot speak English. So what do you have to do? Lean on the fear. The fear is speaking English. Lean on it means you have to just push yourself and speak English. Just like what I did when I was in the US, just getting into uni and couldn't speak English. I forced myself to speak English, and my housemate, my roommate, corrected my grammar, and that's exactly how I learned. Okay, so always lean on the fear. So let's say you fear of public speaking. Well, lean on the fear. The fear is public speaking. So just go out there and start talking. Go out there and just start public speaking, because the more you push yourself, look at the point number 3 here. The more you push yourself, the more you can see the result from your action. If the result is good, not as bad as what you thought, it will boost your confidence. You will be like, oh, actually, I can do this. Oh, actually, it's not that bad. If the result is messed up, you can learn from it. So basically, you got nothing to lose. So lean on the fear and just go do it. How do you practice that? Point number 1. Every day, starting today, I want you to choose one uncomfortable thing to do daily. Okay, so if you feel uncomfortable making new friends, it means then today you're gonna go out there, speak to a stranger, make new friends. If you feel uncomfortable to show your face on social media because you feel like maybe you're not pretty enough, you're not good looking, then do that. Take a picture, take a selfie, upload it on social media. Okay? Practice to be uncomfortable every day and just do it. Okay? And another thing that can help you to boost confidence, this is super easy, super practical. If you cannot do this, I don't know what else to do. Is this point: learn new skills. You have to learn new skills. So why learning new skills is very important? Because it means you're growing and it will boost your confidence when you know you're growing. If you feel you're stuck, if you feel like you're just in a comfort zone all the time, you're not going anywhere, of course your confidence will be impacted because you know, oh, I don't know anymore. Like I don't know what to do. I'm not updated about the new trends. I'm not updated of the news because I don't feel comfortable to learn that because I don't like it. So learn new things, learn new skills, whatever it is, learn something, okay? Because it will expand your mind and it will boost your confidence when you know you have expanded your mind. Okay? Now we're talking about values. So, after we practice confidence, okay, now I'm confident with myself, but how should I know what I want? Now I'm confident with my voice. I'm confident with my decision, but how can I know that I really want this? How can I know that this is what I need? Okay? It's your values. What is values? Values is basically what is important for you in your life. That's values. So, values can be a lot of categories: your life values, your career values, friendship values, family values, relationship, career. Every area in our life has values. Okay. But in this section, I will only cover life and career because life, it's fundamental, it's your everything foundation. Career, because it's relevant to you guys in the next few months, in the next 1 year, 2 years, whatever, you will start looking for jobs. You have to know what is your career values. Okay. So again, I want you to write this down. So maybe I'm not going to ask for 10. I wrote down 10 values, but no, I think 10 is too many. So what I want you to do is write down 5 life values. Okay, life values. Example, I'm giving you example here. My example, my life values is what is important for me in my life. Okay, that's my life values. It's 1, growth; 2, community; 3, family; 4, freedom/flexibility; 5, money. Okay, so in everything I do, it has to cover at least 3 of them out of the 5. Okay, so when I decided to quit corporate world and startup world, I checked my life values. I asked myself, if I become a full-time life coach, will that fit in with my life values? Will I grow? Yes. Will I be close to my family? Yes. Will I get more money? Yes. Will I have the flexibility and freedom? Yes. Will I have the community? This one is a bit hard because I have a hard time finding like-minded coaching community in Jakarta. But at least only one that doesn't match. 4 of them match. So that's when I felt confident. This is my path. I need to quit and I need to learn to build my business. Okay. So I want you to start practicing that, okay? Write down 5 life values. I'll give you 30 seconds. Write down your 5 values. And when you already have 5, put it in order. Number 1 is very important. Number 5 is less important. So put it in order. Number 1 is I cannot live without this. Number 5, yeah, well, if I don't have it, it's fine. And then after that, I want you to write down 5 career values. I know you're not working yet, you're still studying, but you will be working soon. So just write down career values. Career values is like, for my example, when I was working in companies, my career values is number 1, growth. Number 2 is good culture. 3, inspiring leader. 4, good team members. 5, money. So every time I have job interview, I will analyze those 5 items. I will ask how's the culture, who I will be reporting to, and I will research on the person. And then can I meet my team so I know how their personality is? And then I will do my research on the culture online, because the answer from the HR usually different from the review online. And the last one is my salary. Do I get the salary that I want or not? Okay. I'll give you 10 more seconds. Life values, career values. Write down 5, put it in order. 1, super important. 5 is not so important. Okay. And by the way, this can change every few months. You need to review it. I review my values every 3 months or every 6 months. But not every week or not every month, yeah? Because if it's every month, it means that you're just overthinking stuff and you're just changing it. But if you do it every 3 months or every 6 months, it means maybe I've changed. Maybe I'm a different person now. Maybe my priorities have changed. So just review it. Make sure it's still aligned with who you are right now. Okay? But don't change it. Even if you already write something right now, don't change it after this session. Because I have some clients who do that. We work on the values during the session. We already concluded something from the values. But then because they're overthinkers, they will rewrite new values after the session is over. If you do that fast, you change your values that fast, it means you're not listening to your own voice. You're listening to society's voice, family's voice. That's why you're hesitant to really be sure with what you want. So write this down now. Don't change it after the session. Okay? Now, how does it work? How it works is before you accept a job offer, not before you apply. Before you accept a job offer, let's say you have 2 options. Let's say you get offered by 2 different companies and you're confused. Which one should I choose, A or B? Review your values. You will not get 100% right, because some of it you will be guessing and gambling, right? Like the company's culture, you don't know if it's real or not. Like what they tell you, is it real or not? It's all gambling, but it will reduce the risk. It will reduce the consequences if you know your values. So, what I want you to do, if you get two options of jobs, review which job that match your values the most. It has to match at least 3 of your values because it means it's 50%. Okay, so it has to match at least 3. If it's less than 3, don't take it. Okay, unless you don't have another option, then you have to take it, right? Because it's all about having experience first. Okay, but if you have another option, choose the one that match more to your values. And let's say company A match 3, company B match 3. So what you need to do is look at the values that don't match. Is it on number 2 or is it on number 4? Is it on the top 3 or is it number 4 or 5? Let's say company culture was number 1 value for me and it doesn't match to the offer. That it means I know that I will not be able to tolerate it, the company when I sign up. But if it doesn't match my salary, which is salary is my number 5 value, then maybe I can tolerate it. It's fine. I'll just take it. So ideally, the one that doesn't match has to be either number 4 or number 5. Okay? Because it shows that it's the least important for you. It's not the most important for you. Practice doing this gives you a better understanding about who you are, gives you a better understanding what you want. And I'm not saying it will never change. It will change because you will change as a person. But this gives you a strong foundation to start understanding who you are. And for the life values, what you can do with it is you can choose what kind of friends that you hang out with by reviewing your values. Do they match your values? Do they match your... For me, growth is important. So I don't want to hang out with people who don't have growth mindset. Okay. And another thing is family is important for me. I don't want to choose a partner who's not going to get along with my family or who don't care about his family. So your life values can be used for a lot of things. Choosing your friends, choosing your partner. What else? Yeah, those 2 things. Okay. And choosing just your decision. Let's say you want to be a digital nomad. Oh, I just want to be a remote worker. I don't want to tie into an office. Okay, is that the right decision for you? Check your life values. Deciding that being a remote worker and just travel around while working, does that match your life values or not? Okay. So practice doing this because if you keep doing this, focus on these 3 points at the bottom. You will start realizing, is my value really my voice? Or I decided on those values because of the pressure from my parents and from society. And then you can start reflect on it. Which one is my truth? So like I said earlier, my clients who rewrite the values after the sessions is because they feel pressured. If they follow their own values in their head, they will get punished by the parents. That's why they're overthinking everything and they keep changing the values. So that's why I said, don't change it. Learn to be okay with your own voice. Okay? Okay. So let's talk about passion. I know this is like everyone's interest. A lot of clients come to me from the age 23 years old, 18 years old to 45 years old to 50 years old. Everyone asks, I don't know what my passion is. How can I know that I live my purpose? It's like literally everyone's interest. I just want to say this to you, okay? I can help you to find your passion with structured question in the next slide. But please remember, Passion can change over the years. So your answer today doesn't mean will last for the next 10 years. Okay? It can last, it cannot. If you're going to change into a different person, then your passion will change and it's okay. It doesn't mean, oh my God, I'm lost again. Oh my God, I'm stuck again. No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that you're changing as a person. Okay? So, number one, be flexible. When you're thinking about passion, be flexible. Do not have a fixed mindset. If you're imagining that you're living in a box, just imagine the box is open. You can always get out and find another box. It's not a closed box, okay? So, what is important about finding a passion is finding your why. What is your why? Everyone says, oh yeah, find your why, find your why. Yeah, but is that simple? I'll make it simple. There's a lot of different approach to understand your why, but I'm just gonna give you the basic knowledge, the simplest one, because it is actually simple. Your why is actually what drives you to do this today. That is your why. That's the simple why. The bigger why, I cannot go through it in the session. It's too many explanations. But your why is basically your drive for the day. Like, what is your why? What is your why to be part of Bangkit? Because you want to what? You want to speak better English. You want to be more inspired. You want to learn new things. You want to learn new skills. But why? Why you want to learn new skills? You have to go deeper than that. Why you want to learn new skills? Why you want to learn speaking English? Why you want to be inspired? I assume it's because you want to grow as a person. You want to be a better student. Because you want to learn to study abroad one day. You want to be able to maybe work abroad and come back here one day. You know, because that's what I did. I work in the US and then after that I come back here with all the knowledge I got from the US. Okay, so, and it's actually really beneficial because then I learn different things and I bring it back here, and it is very beneficial even for my clients now, you know, because like even being a life coach, I learned about coaching from people in Australia, which approach is different from coaching in Indonesia. So I learn new things. Why do I want to learn new things? Because I want to make an impact in my client's life. That is the deeper why. My why is not because I want to learn abroad. I want to learn from a foreigner. No, I want to learn new skills. That's not my why. My root why, the core why, is because I know I can be more beneficial to my clients and impact their life. Why is it important to get deeper than that? Because that's where your motivation comes from when things are not aligned with what you plan. When shit happens in your life and you feel like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Why don't I get this job? Why did I get rejected from here? Why is it so hard to find a job? You still have that why. Okay, my why is I want to learn about coding. So actually, I cannot be picky. This is just for example. Maybe your why, I want to learn about coding because I want to make more money, because I want to be able to stand on my own feet without asking help from parents. Or I want to learn coding because I want to work in a certain NGO that helps certain community. Find a deeper why. Even if your why is money, I want to make more money because tech is very trendy right now. Even if your why is money, ask, why do you need more money? Why do you have to have the money? Is it to support your life? Is it to support your family? Is it to be able to give back more to people around you? Find a deeper meaning of your action. That can become your motivation when shit happens. The emotional attachment to your goals, to your action, is what will keep you going. Okay? So remember rules in talking about passion. Number one, be flexible. because you will change as a person, you will grow as a person. Number two, focus on your why, because that's the drive, that's your motivation, that's why you do what you do, that's why you be part of Bangkit. Okay, so screenshot this. This is the tools that I always use to help my clients to find their passion. I'm going to use my example because there's too many of you. Usually in my own workshop, I will be able to interact with one of you right away, and then I will help them to figure out about their passion. But I'm going to use my example. The reason I knew I wanted to be a life coach was because I answered these questions. Okay, so my story was in 2016, I moved to Singapore to work for Shopee Singapore. So I get accepted in Shopee Indonesia, and then I get relocated to handle the regional, and then I moved to Singapore. Singapore was always on my bucket list. I was like, oh, I've been to the US, but now I want to go abroad, but I don't want to be too far from home. So I wanted to move to Singapore. And when I got accepted for Indonesia office, I told my boss, can you make an opportunity for me to move to Singapore one day? And she did. So I moved to Singapore. What I did not expect was the culture was different. Indonesia culture was really amazing. Singapore culture, I couldn't fit in. They're very workaholic and robotic. They don't have emotions. And that's when I was depressed really bad. I was like, oh my God, I'm new here. I cannot relate to the culture. Everyone is like very robotic, working like machines. I don't have anyone to talk to when I'm stressed. I work 24/7 nonstop. And at the same time, I had a housemate who was also very robotic. So I felt super lonely. I felt super lonely and super stressed because all I did was just working and that's it. So, and then like Singapore's energy is just so different. Indonesia is very warm, very open. Singapore, you really have to hang out with expats to feel like you're welcome. So I'm like, I was really stressed. I was really depressed. And then I start questioning, what am I doing? Do I really want to do public relations forever? Do I really want to work for people forever? And I know my answer was no. And then what? And then if I stop working for people, what do I want to do? So I was Googling, I was talking to my life coach. I had a life coach back then. I was reading a book. I did everything. I Googled how to understand myself. I bought a book about Buddha to understand myself. And then I talked to my life coach to know what I want. And then I came up with this structure. Okay. In my case, my answer for number one is if you have 500 books to read forever, what will be the common topic? So imagine you have 500 books, but only one topic. Yeah. It cannot be two. Only one, literally only one, forever. What will be the topic that you can read forever? My answer was self-help book. Okay, you can when I'm doing this, I want you to also reflect on your answers. Yeah, so I want you to also think, oh, what is the book that I like? Okay, and write it down. Number two, what did you do as a child that you enjoyed the most? Why? We have to think back when we were little, because when we were little, we did not have any pressure. We did whatever we like without any pressure. So what I did as a child that I enjoyed the most back then was, I remember when I was little, I like hanging out with my neighbors doing pretend cooking using leaves, flowers, stones. I like pretend cooking with neighbors, or I like playing bicycle with neighbors. Okay. You will see the keyword here, neighbors, means people. I barely play by myself. Either I play with my neighbor or I play with my mates because my parents always working until 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Or I follow my sister to play with her. I follow her everywhere because I just want to have a friend. So, what does it say about me? People. I love people. Okay. So, number one was self help. Number two, people. Number three, what are the things you enjoy doing that make you forget the time? This is talking about your present life, your current life. What do you enjoy doing right now until you forget the time? In my case was writing a blog about my life and talking to people about life. Again, the keyword is people and life. It's all about life, people, right? You see the pattern here. Number four, what volunteer work would you do? In my case back then, I was volunteering in mental health institution in Singapore. But before that, I was volunteering to be a teacher, teaching English for kampung kids in South Jakarta. So I was thinking, but I did two things. I enjoyed the teaching, I enjoyed the mental health institution. So I just wrote down two. But again, what is the keyword? Always deal with people. Okay? People is everywhere in my answers. And number five, what excites you the most in life? When I can share my life experience to people and listening to their life journey. Even back then, when I always solo travel, I was single, I solo travel. I wasn't the traveler who just went like a tourist. I was the solo traveler who went to a cafe or a bar to talk to strangers and then talk about their life and write down their story on my blog. Okay, so people and life. So when I review my answers, I realize I'm really interested in people, and I think that's why I chose public relations. I love meeting people. And number two, it's all about self help. The book is self help, the volunteer is mental health, the story of people's life. It's all about life. It's about helping people's life or inspiring or to be inspired about life. So, life and people. Then I remember I have a life coach. Maybe I can explore that. So I start researching about the certifications, the credibility, about everything. Then I decided, okay, I'm gonna start saving money. So I'm gonna quit. So I quit from Shopee. I moved to a different startup, Circles Life. It's a telco company. I did not have a salary increase, but the culture much better. So I was able to save money, being less stressed. And then I took 2 weeks or 3 weeks, no, 2 weeks off from work to get trained as a life coach. And then another 2 weeks for a different level being a life coach. Okay, so I knew my passion was life coach, but I wasn't become a life coach right away. That's me being flexible. I became a life coach 2 years after, when I had enough money to pay for the certification and when I can find a company that can support my flexibility. This is my example that passion is not always right away. You really have to be flexible about it. Okay? So I want you to write down these answers and reflect what is the same answer that keeps showing up in your answer. Is it people? Is it self-help? Is it coding? Is it technology? Is it changing people's life through your work? What is it? What's the common answer that keeps showing up in your answers? And when you realize that, ask yourself, which industry should I be in so I can have this? So now I look back in my high school years, I remember I asked my dad, can I be a psychologist? I remember he said no, because back then, if I wanted to be a psychologist, I cannot go to uni overseas because I have to take another test to be able to practice here in Indonesia. So back then I remember actually I already knew my passion when I was in high school, but my dad said no because he wanted me to go to university. So what I did instead, I realized I love people so much. I just love talking. I take PR as my major. Was it wasted? No, because it was still my passion. I love people. But back then I just didn't have this helping people part in my PR journey. It's more about just people and money, but no helping. But was it wasted? No. I was passionate back then. Not anymore, but back then I was really passionate. So my passion has changed and it's okay. It's still useful. Okay, so just remember that. Okay. Now, the last part is no, not the last part. Two more parts. Goals. I know sometimes we have so many plans and ambitions in our head. And then we sometimes feel, I don't know where to start. I don't know when am I going to be able to achieve this. I don't know what to do to achieve this. But I have a lot in my mind. Especially you guys are still young. When I was your age, I had a lot in mind. I want to travel the world. I want to meet my future husband. I want to get rich. I want to be able to work from anywhere. I want to be able to always help people and make money. What else? I wanted a lot of things. A lot of things. And back then I did not have a plan. I just did whatever it is. Sometimes I use my credit card to keep on traveling until I get a lot of debt when I was 25 years old. I did not have any plan. I was just go with it, go with the flow, follow my ambitions. Okay. This structure that I'm going to give you will help you to make plans better. So, again, screenshot this. This is going to be your worksheet after the session is over. There are two different goals. One, the big one that has no deadline. It can happen in a year, 5 years, 10 years, doesn't matter. There's a yearly goal. The yearly goal is the one that will help your big goals happen slowly. Okay. So now I want you to write down all your big dreams. Anything. This is my example. My big dreams is I want to be a digital nomad with my family, with my daughter, with my husband. I want to fit physically, mentally. I want to make more money. I want to create community. That's under my category experience. That's the experience I want to have. But I also know I have to grow. I have to grow as a life coach. So another big goal is I want to learn deeper about nutrition and mental health. I want to learn about a therapy method called EMDR. There's a school for that, a certification for that I will take next year. I want to create more group coaching programs. I want to be more visible in more social media channels, not just Instagram. I want to do more collaboration with companies and with other coaches or nutritionists. And I want to be able to make more income. Okay? But does it have a deadline? No, there's no deadline. Means you can write down as many as you want. It can be 20 things, 50 things, 100 things, doesn't matter. But it's there. You know what you want. You know what you want to achieve one day. Okay? So digital nomad, I wrote this, by the way, in 2019. Now, 2023, I'm living that. Because my husband is remote working. I'm self-employed. We travel a lot. What else? I would say 50% of this list has come true. And I wrote this in 2019. But I did not have a deadline back then. I just wrote it down. Okay, so I want you to do that. Write down as many as you want. As many as you want. But for now, because we have limited time, maybe just write down 10. You can continue later when the session is over. Write down 10 and share it in the comments so we can all read it. So you can inspire people to do the same. So you can actually motivate each other. Remember, don't think about the timeline. Don't think about, oh, I have to do it by this year. No. Okay? Don't limit your mind. Write down as many as you want. It is possible. Okay? 30 more seconds. It has to be big dreams, something that excites you, something that scares you to achieve it because it's so big, and it will make you excited if you achieve it. It cannot be just a goal that it's easy, I'll get it next year, I'll get it this year. No, it has to be something that is really exciting you and something that will stretch you as a person so you can grow. Okay. 10 more seconds. Okay. Okay, I want you to share in the comment section so everyone can read your goals, so you will feel excited and everyone can feel excited too. Okay, that's why there's a Bangkit community here to inspire each other, okay? And then what do you have to do to make it happen? Out of those 10 lists that you wrote down, this is why I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you an example of my goal for this year so you understand how to apply it. So from those 10 lists, the big list, I want you to choose only 3 that you want to focus on this year, 2024. Choose 3, okay? And then I'll show you my Excel sheet. This is my goal this year. Screenshot this so you remember what the table looks like, okay? This is where your action takes place and your planning takes place, okay? You have to create 5 columns: goal, daily, weekly, monthly, how it looks like. And then you only have to focus on 3 things. If it's more than 3, you're going to be multitasking. When you're multitasking, nothing will be achieved. So 3 a year divided into this table. Number 1, goal. Remember in the previous slide, there's my goal that says I want to be fit and healthy. So I break this down into my yearly goal. Okay, that's the focus for 2024. I want to lose weight 7 to 10 kilos and be energetic. And then after you fill this out, go to the action. Daily, what will make it happen? Okay. I work with a nutritionist with a method called Balance Plate that I have to follow every day. And then I have to walk 45 minutes every day. So that's my daily action. What's the weekly action? I work with a personal trainer and I do yoga. What's the monthly action? In this case, I don't have a monthly action. So I just leave it blank. How it looks like? How it looks like is my visualization, what I will look like when that happens. So I'm visualizing my life when I achieve the goal. It will look like I'm playing with Lydia, my daughter, full of energy, feeling motivated, feeling fit, no joint problem. I have like back pain because I gain weight so much after giving birth. So I got a lot of like pain in my back and my joint. Okay, so this is what my life looks like. Why this part is important? Again, this will motivate you. This will motivate you when your journey feels hard. You will keep visualizing, but I want to have this life, but I want to have this life. That's what will keep you going. If I keep visualizing my daughter, that's what keeps me going to lose weight, to not bail out on my personal trainer, to follow the nutrition formula. Okay. And then for my business, remember in the previous slide, I have making more money as a goal, as a big goal. So I break it down. That's the focus for this year. My goal is making certain money per month. So what do I have to do? Daily, I have to focus on creating more content so I can grab different audience. That's daily. Weekly is focusing on business plan, what to do with my business plan, expand more service. And then weekly, I need to take more courses to expand my knowledge. And then I have to record reels and I have to upload content 4 times a week. Monthly, I want to create a workshop that is affordable because my group coaching program is costing like 2 million above. Group coach, my workshop is only hundreds thousands. Why I want to make this? So I can grab different audience. Okay. How it looks like. I'm not worried about my saving. I'm spending wisely, feeling at peace and content, and still growing my skills. So when the journey seems really hard, this is a hard commitment, by the way. So that's why I told you, make a goal that stretch you so you can grow. This is a very hard commitment for a mom, for a mother with a 1-year-old at home. But I still do it anyway. I still write it down anyway. Why? Because I want to have this life. I'm visualizing this life. Okay. And then the last one is the same. I'm not going to explain it to save time, but it's the same formula. Okay. You get the deal now. So write your goal, only focus on 3, and then break down your actions daily, weekly, monthly. Visualize your life when that happens. Review the goal every 3 months to make sure you are on track. If you don't review it, you're going to miss the track, you're going to miss the progress. And look at the red highlight. This is also my reminder. All the goals that you create, they have to be very big and make you grow. That's why there's a chance you will fail 50%. For example, maybe there's a chance for me not to lose 10 kilos. Maybe I will only lose 7 kilos. And maybe there's a chance that the target of my income is not going to achieve 100%. Maybe it's just achieve 80% or 70%. That's what happened last year. It's achieved 80% only, not 100%. And it's okay because I create a very big goal. So there's a chance to fail by 50%. When that happens, you have to be flexible. Change your approach, change your plan. Do not change your goal. Your goal stays the same because it's good for you. It's what you want. Change how to get there. Change the approach. Okay? So screenshot this. Do it after the session is over today. Yeah. Nah, this is the last part. So we've talked about inner work, hacking your mind, understanding yourself, know who you are, using your values, understanding your passion, making plans, even making goals. But then what's going to happen if things are not going according to my plan? When things are stressful, when I cannot control my emotions because I'm frustrated, because it's so hard to achieve the goal, or it's so hard to focus, it's so hard to concentrate, to be disciplined. Some things in life you just cannot control. Some things in life you just have to let it go. Do your best and let it go. Okay? That's the basic, very important life mantra. Do your best and let it go. Do your best means you really have to make sure you did your best before you surrender, before you just like, okay, whatever. You have to make sure you do your best. Okay? You have to make sure, like, for example, if after all this program's over, you will find a job, you will look for a job, and then maybe it will feel hard. You will have to ask yourself, have I done my best? Have I done everything within my capacity? Have I reached out to all my network? Have I tailored my message on LinkedIn when I applied for jobs? Have I have my resume and CV reviewed by professionals before I submit my CV? Have I learned new skills and promote myself when I take that new skills? Always ask yourself, have I done every single thing that I could? Have I done my best? And then at the end of the day, just know you cannot control the result. You cannot control the result. You just have to let go. Do not be anxious. Do not get panicked. Do not get stressed, because the result is not within your capacity. Your capacity is making sure you've done everything within your best. Okay? So learn to change your mindset that way. I need to work hard. I need to study hard. I need to learn hard. But whatever happens after that, it's not your responsibility, because you know you've done your best. But if you haven't done your best, then the result is your responsibility. Okay? So don't be lazy and I'm like, oh yeah, the result is not my responsibility. I'm not gonna do anything. Don't do that. Because if you become lazy and you don't really do your best, then it is your fault. But if you've done your best, then it's not your fault, it's not your responsibility. Whatever happens, happens. Okay? So after having that mindset, this is the practical tool that you can practice. When things feels very overwhelming, stressful, make you very frustrated, and you just feel like you're dragging yourself every day, I want you to do this. Number 1, take a break from your routine. Take a break from the task that you do every day. Do a cold shower. Cold shower means stay under the coldest shower in your bathroom. Do not use shampoo. Do not use soap. Just stand there. Let your head to your toes wet. So from head to toes are all wet with the shower, okay? Super cold. And practice breathing. Close your eyes under the water and just breathe. How to breathe? 4, 4, 6. When you inhale, you count to 4 seconds. So you inhale and you count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then you hold your breath for 4 seconds. After you hold, you exhale for 6 seconds. So when you exhale, make sure you count. So it's slow breathing. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 4, 4, 6. Do it as long as you can under the cold shower. Why? Because it will help regulate your nervous system. The cold temperature is proven to help us to regulate our nervous system. And it helps regulate the blood flow going to the brain. Okay, so you will feel calmer after cold shower and deep breathing. If you don't like cold shower, just do the deep breathing. Just sit down in your chair, turn on meditation music or any soothing music, and just deep breathing. 4 4 6. Just repeat until the song is over. Okay. Number two, do your best and let go of the result. That's what I just explained. Okay. Number three, okay, shit happens, life happens. What do you have to do? Yeah, sometimes you can just surrender, but I have an example, a story. I have an old colleague from my previous company that I work at. He got laid off for almost a year. We never really talked when we worked together. Suddenly, he WhatsApped me. He WhatsApped me out of the blue saying that, hey, can I talk to you? I need some inspiration. And I was like, okay, I was a bit confused, like, why out of the blue this guy contacted me? I'm like, okay, sure. And then we talked, he called me, and he sounded very, very desperate for jobs. And he said, I've been trying, he has one kid, 9 years old. So school is getting expensive. The wife doesn't work. He got laid off. He's been trying to look for a job for 9 months, for even more than 9 months, 11 months, I think. And he said, I've tried everything. I've contacted Headhunter. He's in HR. I've contacted Headhunter. I contacted agency. I talked to my network, my friends, but still nothing. Like I don't get job offer. Number one, the one thing that is not within his control is he's in HR. Recruitment gets hit the most by layoff during this time. All companies who lay off people, they start with HR. That's why it's hard for him to get a job. So it's not his fault. But then the last point is change the approach. I write this down. Change the approach, have a mentor. That's what I told him. I said, oh, maybe you need to review. So he wanted to talk to me because he needs a different perspective on how to do this. So he asked me, you're a life coach. Maybe you can advise me what to do. I told him, change the approach. Review what you've done. Because there's got to be a reason why it's not effective. What have you done on LinkedIn? Have you promoted yourself on LinkedIn? Because now everyone who got laid off, they talk a lot on LinkedIn and get visibility on LinkedIn. And if you're lucky, someone will reach out to you for a job opening. So I asked him, have you been active on LinkedIn and just like network with different people, message them, be personal with them, expand your online network? He said no. And I said, I think you need to start doing that because you are in HR, which is really hard to find a new job in today's world. So you really need to stand out on LinkedIn and network with different people and message them. Message them on LinkedIn. Hey, do you have a job opening in your company? Can we meet up for a coffee? Blah, 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 whatever. And then two, I said, if you really need the money because your kid is going to school, why don't you just sell a house? Because he said he had a mortgage. He just signed up for a mortgage in a house where he lives in. So I said, you lost your job. How can you pay for mortgage? The fastest way until you get a new job, the fastest way, sell your house. Cut the mortgage, sell the house so someone else will pay for your mortgage, but sell the house. Move in with your family, with your parents or your siblings. It's temporary until you get a job. Because this is already emergency. You don't have money for your son's school. And you're struggling with day-to-day needs. And he's like, right, that makes sense. So that's changed the approach. Sometimes when we get stuck and we're really stressful, we don't have the capacity to think about a different approach. And that's when you reach out to someone who knows better than you, ask for advice so you can change the approach. That's exactly what my friend did. He knows he cannot think anymore. He reached out to me to have a different perspective so he can change the approach. So when things are stressful, take a break, do your best, talk to someone, and change your approach. Okay. And the last one, this is more about your emotional regulation. When you feel very angry or very depressed or very anxious, I want you to start understanding, why am I feeling this way? So I want you, when you feel those emotions or any emotions that's bothering you, take a piece of paper with a pen, write this down. What am I feeling? Oh, I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling stressed. Okay. What makes me feel this way? What makes me feel angry is because I don't get the job. Or what makes me feel stressed because there's a lot of deadline. I need to learn, study, but I need to start applying for internship. I feel stressed. Okay. So if you feel angry because of the job hunting and stressful because of the deadline, what's the solution? Make your mind to only focus on the solution after understanding how you feel. What's the solution? Oh, maybe I have to just prioritize first. Which one is more important? Maybe I have to make plans, weekly plans based on my priority. Maybe that way I will be less stressed. And when I feel less stressed, maybe I won't get angry. That's just an example. Okay. So I hope this session is enjoyable and insightful. If you want to connect with me on Instagram. And remember the keyword here. I close the slide with this powerful keyword. You really have to be able to enjoy the journey, because life will be always up and down, always, until you get old. It will always up and down. So if you know it's going to be a roller coaster forever, why don't you just do your best and enjoy the journey? Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much, Mbak Muara, for the tour conversation, which was very thoughtful and inspiring. I believe everyone here had done such a reflective session to hear from you, and also I'm also reading a lot of comments. They are very excited in indulging the activities that reflecting towards what they did to themselves. And maybe for the next session, we would just directly proceed, ya, Mbak, to
Yeah.
the question and answer sessions, because there are a lot of questions here. We got 20, even more, I think. And we're just going to proceed for the first question from Rizky Aditya. One of the greatest enemies of confidence is self doubt. Despite our efforts to push these thoughts away, they often arise unexpectedly. And in your perspective, how can we overcome such feelings?
The self-doubt.
Yep, the sabotaging yourself.
This is the one that I didn't cover, but I usually always cover in my sessions with my clients. So thank you for the question. This is the most asked question everywhere I go. Try to shut down your negative self-talk by doing this. So number one, camera. Number one, be aware when you have that negative self-talk. So let's say when you have that negative self-talk, I'm sure you feel something in your body. Do you feel
Mhm.
like you get anxious? Do you feel you get more nervous? Do you feel scared? You feel something. It must be something in your body. So feel it for your awareness. Oh, this is happening. Oh, I'm starting to doubt myself. After you're aware, I want you to stop. I want you to pause. Visualize a stop sign, like the in the parking lot, the S letter in the
Mhm.
circle of pole. Visualize that sign S. It means stop. And then I want you to do self-affirmation. I want you to do two things, either self-affirmation or challenge your mind. Self-affirmation, you can say, I'm doing my best, I'm growing. I'm doing my best, I'm growing. If you do that, you're only focusing on doing your best. And you're focusing on you need to do this because you want to grow. Okay? Or what you can do after you visualize the S sign, challenge your mind. Is it facts or is it my assumption?
Mm-hmm.
99% of the time, it's only your assumption. There's no fact supporting that self doubt.
Mm. So
So
it's
when you
like
know it's, yeah,
so it's like we're always trying to stop ourselves before people or anything external actually stops us. Yeah,
yes.
I
So you
see.
know that, and you also know, you will realize that I don't have any facts, any supporting facts that support my negative self-talk because it's actually
Mhm,
only my assumption. So why am I assuming this? You will
mhm.
realize it's just your mind playing with you. And then you just have to just do it.
I think it's connecting to our next question. It's from Reisa Aulia. She asked
Mm-hmm.
whether if we have planned a full day of activities gitu Mbak, but it turns out something unexpected happens and it ruins all existing plans. Is it valid if I feel sad and disappointed?
No, it's not valid. It means that you're so hard on yourself.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
what you can do is realize again, back to your awareness, be aware that you're just being too hard on yourself. And then, second, you have to ask yourself, okay, if this is really my priority, how can I plan it throughout the week so I actually can achieve it?
Mhm. Also, the next question from Shifa Sharifa. I think everything has been intertwining so far when I'm reading the start questions. She asked whether if we still overcome fear before trying or anything negative towards ourselves. Sometimes I need strong control with a sense of determination, but that feeling sometimes exists and often does not exist. How do we overcome it?
Challenge your mind again.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to talk to your mind because our mind is very powerful. It can be positive for you, it can be negative for you. So you have to control your mind. So wait, sorry, can you repeat the context again?
Like sometimes when we do something and then we fail or we don't fail, but we often think that we don't have the same determination along the way. Sometimes it exists, sometimes
Yeah.
the determination is there, but sometimes it does not exist.
So it's more about
Like
failure, right?
yes.
Yeah. So just know that failure is a detour.
Mm-hmm.
Detour means, for some of the students who don't understand, detour is like reroute. Like you want to go straight, but then you are asked to go left, and then you have to take a different path. That's a detour. So just know that failure is a detour. It's not a death penalty because like for example, using my case, when I first moved to Shopee Singapore, I felt like I was a failure because, oh my god, I've always wanted to work in Singapore, but then
Mhm,
my first experience wasn't enjoyable. So
mhm,
I was actually thinking, am I a good PR person? Am I a good communication expert? Because I feel like working in Indonesia, I was highly accredited, I was highly praised. And moving to Singapore, I was just a robot. I'm like, am I smart? Am I doing enough? I could see it like that, but I didn't. I stopped that mindset and I switched it to this is a detour. And it is true. Because of that experience, I found out I want to be a life coach. And I am a life
mhm,
coach now, living my purpose. So always think
mhm.
about that. There's always a detour in your failure, and you need to learn something from it. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The next question from Henky. He asked whether how do you deal with people that looks down to you every time? Would you fight back? And because he told it that it's his biggest enemy to grow every time.
If you fight back, it's wasting your energy. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
fight back, it will come from anger. Anger
Yes.
is tiring. It will make you tired. Like, oh no. Maybe you will feel satisfied at that time, but then after that, you will feel like, oh, I'm tired because it takes a lot of energy. So no, it's not worth it to fight back. What you need to do to what I need you to do is just focus on doing your best and grow. That's all.
Mhm.
Funny story, before I was a life coach, I used to write a blog sharing my story, my struggle, my journey. Um, and some close family members always look down to me because they're like, why are you sharing your personal stuff online? Like they're
Mhm.
like looking down and kind of like confused, like why are you doing that? I
Mhm.
didn't give a shit. I don't care. I still wrote down, I shared my journey, and you know what? All my story on my blog get a good feedback from my readers because they said, thank you for helping and inspiring me by sharing your struggles.
Wow. I got
So
goosebumps listening to your answer.
just focus on your growth, just ignore, do your best. Eventually they will shut up.
Mhm. I think I really want to have a questions that I read, but I think it's not start here, so I'm just gonna read it out. So there is this
Mhm,
opinion in the internet, Mbak Muara. It says that
mhm.
hide your goals in public and don't overspeaks about it because it will drain your energy to achieve it, and not everyone will be happy towards your progress. Maybe do you have any thought about it, Mbak Muara?
I believe you have to speak about your goals all the time. So it will remind you that you're focusing on that. And it will, gini, when you actually say it out loud, it will feel real. It
Yes.
will feel more real, right? So if you speak it out loud and people don't get it or make fun of it or look down to you, it's their problem, not you. That's number
Yes.
one. Second, choose the right people. Like I said, use your life values to choose your circle. Choose the right people. The right people will be okay with you speaking your goals out loud. So I'm not against that. I know there are a lot of people who say that don't share your big goals because it's like you're oversharing. Just focus on your actions and achieve it. Yeah, but I think it's personal preference. I don't think it's
Mhm.
black and white. Yeah,
Yes.
because if you want to keep it to yourself, it's okay. If you don't want to keep it to yourself, then it's okay. Nothing is wrong. But for me, I believe when you say it out loud, you will make your goals more believable.
Mhm. There's this question from Farhan Naufal, but he asked about how to deal with these toxic people. Then, like, if they constantly make us feel insecure, and then sometimes maybe we believe what they said is true. How do we cover our ears? But we've already done everything to not bother, but it still hurts here. So how do we overcome it, Mbak Muara?
Set boundaries. Don't hang out with them. If it's
Mhm.
your if it's your parents, because I don't know, right? People here can be family, right? If
Yes.
it's your family, set boundaries as in do not talk to them when you don't have the energy to talk them to them. Only talk to them when you ask yourself, do I have the capacity to be with them or not? If I don't, just go to your room or go outside, do whatever. And then
Mhm.
deal with them when you can just ignore their negative comments. That's number one. I know it's not easy because you guys still live in the same roof, but it will make it better. Okay, instead of
Mhm.
just seeing them every day when you're tired and stuff. So know your capacity. If you know you cannot deal with them, then don't deal with them. Okay.
Mhm.
If it's non-family, if it's your friends, cut cut them off. Find new friends.
Mhm.
It's
Yes,
that simple.
exactly.
Don't hang
Mhm.
out with people who drag you down.
Yep. Okay, we're moving on to the next question from Urai Dika Isvila Dinata. So they're asking about the future. They say that the future is unpredictable, and you've already actually made some presentations on how to make yearly plans and things. But sometimes I think the most of the people here, including me, are not confident enough to put big goals that are probably doesn't seem achievable when we're making it. So it's like making us feeling self doubt even before we're trying to write out the plans itself. How do you think about it, Mbak Muara?
Again, there's two different answers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your goal has to be big, so it will fail. Remember the rule. The rule is 50% fail. Um, so it has to be big. It has to be so big that the chance of failure is there. Why? Because, like, for example, me, it sounds easy maybe for you guys when you saw my goal when I wrote down losing 7 to 10 kilos. It's not. I've been dealing with this nutritionist for 2 weeks. I've only lost 3 kilos, and I still have long, 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 long way to go. Long way to go. Okay. But when I wrote that, I was like, yeah, if I don't reach 10, then it's okay. I'll do 5 or 7 or 6. It's okay. I still lose weight. But I'm not going to write down losing only 3 or 5 kilos, because then I'm just comfortable. I'm in my comfort zone. I'm not growing as a person, you know? Same thing with my income. I did not share what I want in that Google sheet, but my income is really big. And I start wondering, can I even achieve this number? Because I've been putting that number for 2 years now, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And in some months, I achieve the number. In some months, I don't at all. It's like 50% below that number. So am I disappointed? Yes. But did I change the goal? No, because I know that's the only way I grow, by putting the
Mm-hmm.
big numbers there. I have a choice to lower down the number so it's achievable, but I'm not going to do it because that's not going to make me grow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it is going to scare you, but it is the right thing to do. You want to grow. That's why you make this goal. Okay.
That's
But
why we
then
stretch
also,
it.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is what it says, is future is unpredictable and make me think that many plans is gonna fail. Well, it
Mm-hmm.
is unpredictable. That's why do your best. Whatever the
Mm-hmm.
result that comes out, you have to just let it go. But do your best, because the only thing you can control, the only thing that is predictable is your actions.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're coming off to the next question from Evan Agustian Lucius. Do you balance pushing yourself out of your comfort zone to foster growth while also practicing constant self care and kindness towards yourself?
Of course. Otherwise, I'll go crazy.
Okay.
Of course. Otherwise, I mean, it depends, right? A lot of successful people like Elon Musk. I've read his bio and everything. He's crazy smart.
Mhm.
Crazy smart. I don't think he believes in self-care. I think he just believes in making innovations nonstop, you know?
Mhm.
But look at him, like super successful and everything, right? But he's
Mhm.
crazy. But I also know, like, who's a mindful businessman. I was reading a book about Disney CEO Robert. I forgot his last name. He
Mhm.
does self care. He wake up at 5 a.m. at 4 a.m. doing a lot of self care, working out, eating healthy. What else? Journaling, meditation. Before he starts working at 6 a.m. And he's still a
Mhm.
successful person. But it is personal preference, and I choose to be sane. I choose to be mindful, so I balance both.
Mhm. Okay. Next question from Toku Khairul Amri. He asked, "What if I am using my anger to push myself and stick to my goals? Is it okay? Is it acceptable?"
I know this because sometimes some people feel like anger is a strong drive. Like you're angry to someone and you're gonna be like, I'm gonna prove it to you that I will do this and make you realize that I can do it. Well, is it acceptable? It is. Is it the right thing to do? It's not good for a long term
Yes.
because Yeah, it is acceptable. You will succeed doing that. Like most people succeed doing that because that's a bigger motivation. But will you feel okay in the long run if you keep doing it? Like every time you get angry at people, you'll do it. You'll do it. Is it
Mhm.
sustainable? No, because like I said, anger will drain your energy. Sooner or later, you will be exhausted of getting angry and using
Mhm.
it as your pride. So no,
Yeah.
don't. It's acceptable, yes. You want to do it now, yes. But just remember, don't do it all the time.
So we cannot rely our anger as a fuel that will be constantly for a long term goal. Yeah. But
No.
okay. Next question from Aska Salsabila. She asked, how can you reduce your own head that has too many ideas and cannot get rid of them all? This is very distracting when it comes to creating proportional goals. You have so much things that you would want to do. Like, how do you do it, Mawara?
Well, that's why it's only three things every year.
Hmm.
That's why. That's like, for example, I have vision board. Vision board is basically my life goals that I create on like an artwork. This is a long
Wow.
letter, yeah, because there's a virtual background. You cannot see the whole thing. This is a
Mhm.
long letter, okay? This long letter to myself, it's about my life in the next 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
Uh, but but to make it achievable, I create the goal. This is very small. Look at this. Can you see? What?
Yes. Bit.
Yeah. Well, this part is very small, right? It's not
Yes.
as long as before. It's only for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
that's why earlier I said, if you have a lot in mind, write it
Mm-hmm.
down in a piece of paper. But then you have to choose what is the three things I need to focus this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2025, you can choose another three things from the big goals. Okay, what about 2025? Which one I want to choose from my big goals? So write down on a piece of paper as many as you want, doesn't matter. But only choose three every single year to make sure you can achieve it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Next question from Willy Rumapea. If my 500 books topic is about ambition, however, my parents and friends say that ambition will bring you to dissatisfaction.
Wow. Really? Well, I'm speechless. I'm speechless because there are people who believe that ambition will bring you dissatisfaction. Like, really? How can you live
Yeah,
without ambition? Ambition
I
is
know.
like your fuel. Like, you can you imagine a car without fuel, without gas? They cannot
Mhm,
operate, they cannot run. It's just like humans. Without ambition means what? You don't have drive, you don't
mhm,
know, you don't have goals. Like, even making goals need ambition. So if you don't
mhm,
have ambition, you don't have goals. You want to live without goals,
mhm.
you know?
Maybe I think
So,
we're always used to, but like the community is very used to us staying in our comfort zone, in our bubbles. So it does not really um, make sense to them when we drive even harder than the community are supposed to usually. So it's like we're the outliers. And then people would say that, you're too ambitious. There are a lot of things that are more important than what you're working on now. So just stay in the lane lah, like that. But so maybe I think our community is just very used to dragging us down when we tell them about our ambitions. So maybe that's the point of the question again, but Muara.
I think someone no someone wrote down here in the comment, maybe just don't have too high
Mm.
ambition. No, you have to have high ambition, otherwise you're not going to grow
Mhm.
again. Like, I think, and also it's not about expectations. Kara, I think someone
Mhm.
wrote down about like don't have expectations. Also, it's not about having high expectations or not.
Mhm.
It's just
Exactly.
about you being able to focus on your growth and have
Mhm.
the drive to do it. That's all.
Mhm.
yeah, maybe expectations can make you feel disappointed because then you will have certain expectations A, B, C. But if you think about it, your
Mhm.
expectation is your goal,
Yes.
right? Like, okay, why are you part? Let's say, for example, maybe there's a student here. You are part of Bangkit because you wanna attract foreign company in the US, and you wanna work remotely from Indonesia, work for US company. Let's say that's your goal, right? So
Mhm.
that is your expectation, right? That is your expectation. Join Bangkit, right? That's your expectation being part of this program.
Mhm.
Slash your goal. That is your goal. That's why you join Bangkit. But so it's fine. Like, yeah, sometimes you get it, sometimes you not. And let's say the Bangkit is over for you, and then applied, you don't get the job that you want, you don't have your expectation met, you're disappointed. It's
Mhm.
okay. Learn from your disappointment. What can you do better? What is your next plan so you can get that later in the next few years?
Mhm.
So I think having expectations is like knowing your goals. Having
Mhm.
ambition is having the drive to actually do it and reach it.
Mm. Okay, next question, Mbak, from Muhammad Rizky Ramadan. I believe the main problems on reaching your goals and dream is privilege. So not everyone can get where they want as easy as others who are privileged. What's your take and how to deal with it?
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, some people are privileged and the path is maybe is easier, but doesn't mean it's easy. I said easier. Privileged people, the path will be easier, but doesn't mean they don't have to do anything, you know? Doesn't mean they just sit there and get what they want. Yeah, maybe like if you're super rich like Paris Hilton, like that level, yes, you're born with family assets everywhere. You can do whatever you want. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's some truth in it. But towards at the end, towards at the end of the day, it comes back to how much effort you want to put in. If you're not privileged, effort is harder, but you still have to do something. If you are privileged, you still have to put effort, but maybe it's just different effort, but you have to do something still. Using Paris Hilton example, because a while ago she released a documentary about her life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of her, but after I watched that documentary, my perspective about Paris Hilton is changing. Her career is based on what? DJing, social influencer, hotel owner, um, and then she has a business line on kitchen appliances, and then she's a singer. She does everything, everything. And people, when I did not watch the documentary, I was like, oh, she's just lucky. She's born rich.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, in the documentary, it says, yes, she was born privileged. She lucky. She got all the money in the world. But to create those businesses is not because of her dad or her mom. It's not because of the Hilton family help her. Because apparently her mom is so confused why Paris Hilton want to do all these 10 different businesses when she
Mm-hmm.
already.
Mm-hmm.
So Paris Hilton is the black sheep in the family. Her sister is following the family path. Paris, no, I want to be a DJ. I want to be a singer. How do I learn about DJing? How do I learn to sing? How do I learn about different business outside hotels? So
Mm-hmm.
she made an effort. She learned something and she made an effort. And her mom was against it in the beginning. So, yes,
Mm-hmm.
she's privileged because maybe her effort, she doesn't have to think hard about how to get the money. But she needs to think hard how to make all these 10 businesses running successful.
Mm-hmm.
So it all comes back to your effort. So how to deal with it comes back to your effort. Yes, it does make a big difference and it will be harder if you don't have money, but it
Mm-hmm.
comes back to
Okay. Thank you so much, Mbak Muara. For the last question, among the various goals that we need to achieve, at least 3 goals in a year, how about the other important goals from Aisyah Husna Alifah. How do we aim to achieve the other goals too?
Wait, I don't get the question. Can you repeat?
You told us that maybe we could just put 3 yearly plans, but then she asked whether we could be also thinking about the other goals other than the three. Maybe it's because they always have a lot of goals in one year. How do you take it?
No, you have to know where is your priority.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you keep putting more goals for the year, you will be multitasking. That's
Mm-hmm.
when New Year's resolution never works. Because when we create New Year's resolution, we just list down a lot of things. And at the end of the year, we will be like, oh, I don't get this, I don't get that. What's the point of New Year's resolution? The
Mm-hmm.
problem is not the New Year's resolution is the problem. The problem is you have so many things on your resolution for only 1 year. Of course, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna achieve it. So if you have more than three, I would suggest you can only add one more. Four is maximum. Other
Mm-hmm.
than four, you will be multitasking, you will be confused, you will not focus. So you have to know your priorities.
Okay, thank you so much, Mbak Muara. Unfortunately, that was our very last question. And could there be any closing statement, perhaps from you, Mbak Muara? A few things to encourage our Bangkit friends.
Well, life is going to be hard all the time, even until you reach 50, 40. Okay. There will always be challenge that will test you. That's just how life works. No matter if you're privileged or not, no matter if you're already successful or not, the challenge and the test will always be there. So just do your best. Do your best and enjoy the roller coaster ride.
Wow, thank you, Mbak Muara. It's been a pleasure to be able to talk to you and gain such valuable insights. I hope you will have a good day, yeah, Mbak Muara. Thank you so much, Mbak Muara.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. To my Bankit fellows, today we can understand and learn many new points of view regarding the journey of understanding ourselves. Thank you to Mbak Muara. Hopefully, with this live chat session, we can put together our own version of life journey that can be used as a guide for us to take our steps forward. And thank you to all of you Bankit friends from the 2024 cohort who attended. Wishing you all success for your journey here in Bankit. And I hope that through this program, you can help and support yourself to achieve your hopes and dreams in the upcoming future. I am Kia as your moderator today and Mbak Muara as our speaker today, representing the Bangkit team to say goodbye to you. Thank you very much for staying in tune, stay healthy, and see you again at the next Bangkit events. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.